Yeah, and it says we're live.
Sweet. What's up, guys? Long time no see.
Bueno.
What's that?
So you look like you're in better spirits today.
A little bit, or I'm faking it for the cameras. I'm not going to say which one it is.
Me, I'm to that point where I'm about. You remember that episode of that Dirty Jobs? Whenever he's changing that seal down in that pit on that big old pump with those guys, and they said, "You know what? We've decided we're going to start cussing." And he gives the warning. We're about ready to start cussing. So if you have any children in the room, might want to cover their ears now. I'm just about to that point today.
Save it for after the stream.
Just change it to the 18 over and let's just go ahead and just let it rip.
We'll change the privacy settings before then. Oh my gosh.
It has been one of those days, man. It has been one of those weeks.
Same here. And I'm not trying to say that, any one person's problems are worse than the others. I'm just saying that, respectively speaking, both of us have not had it easy the last like 2 weeks. So one sec, PHNM's kind of barfing a printout.
It's trying to what? Throw up a print?
One sec. One sec. Looking up for starting a print off screen. I'll be right back.
Since Calvin's going to be neglecting all of you over here in chat, let's go ahead and go in here and see who's all here. We got the Handy Outdoor Nerd. How you doing, AA Ron? We got TK in the house.
I'm still here. I'm just fixing something off camera really quick. I'll explain why in a sec. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're just forsaking the chat. We got Theresa in the house. How you doing, my friend? You do it. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Let's see here. Who else am I missing? Nathan Allen, long time no see. We got Eddie in the house. Eddie's in the house.
I'm back.
Theory, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Aunt Nancy, hello. By the way, I got Beth that air fryer. She doesn't know about it yet.
You know that Beth watches the show, I think.
She's too busy trying to get Netflix working right now.
Wow, that's a savage burn there, right, dude, on your life.
Yeah. She quit watching this.
You know what's gonna happen when I come down there on Friday, right? I'm gonna tell Beth, so did you watch the beginning 5 minutes of the stream? Yeah, you know your husband kind of like trash talked you during that. And then the next thing I'm gonna see is you with this look on your face, like, oh, you didn't go there, right? And then Beth's like chasing you down the street, like wanting to kick your butt. Great, I'll just film the whole thing. A day in the life at the Tidbits.
No, I got her the air fryer, not the air oven. She wanted the air fryer. I honestly don't know what the big deal is about an air fryer. I don't know. Me,
quite honestly,
I like my food shoved in the old-fashioned way, where you stick it in the grease and it boils until it's done, and then you pull it out.
Okay, the honest
truth. Burritos taste really good fried, by the way.
What do? What tastes really good fried?
Have you ever had a fried burrito?
No.
Dude, next time you're down, if we have time when you come down, we'll run over to Foster Freeze and get you a fried burrito.
Oh my word.
It will change your life.
So did I tell you of my horribly, wonderfully crazy Cannonball Run inspired idea that I might be having to pull off this weekend?
No. What's going on?
Okay, it's somewhat tentative because it's based off how much garbage I can shove into my car or not. But the idea is what I might end up doing on Saturday is I might be doing it solo, or I might be having a passenger with me because I need to borrow somebody's 4Runner. I might be making a run really early in the morning to Walnut Creek to pick up my Moai, and then on the way down, swinging by your place to pick up the remainder of the stuff that I'm going to temporarily stick into the camper and then get it all out of there, because there's some stuff that I have with me that I don't need to keep up here. There's stuff that I have with me up here that I need to bring down for projects I'm working on. all that stuff. So I just want to, you know, come back up a month later with what I really need. But there's no way I can fit everything into my Honda. I know that right now. And then what doesn't help is the fact that I picked up this giant thing from my old job, which needs a lot of work. So that takes up like the whole passenger seat of my car. So yeah.
By the way, Practical Printing. He says, "Wow, C-Dub went from bad hairband to Disco King." Doesn't his hair look like a different color? Have you dyed your hair or what?
No, it's probably all the stress I've been through. And it's also because I have the light off to the side right now.
I thought you dyed your hair for a moment.
Dude, I have never dyed my hair in my life.
Yeah, me either. Although next haircut, I think I'm going to probably need something. Every time I get a haircut, more gray shows up. The last 2 weeks, I've had so much gray coming in. It's like, man.
The poor guy. Sorry, I'm just
Deadpool says so. Chimichangas, what? Chimichangas.
Oh gosh. Sorry if I'm keep looking off to the left and making sure the A10M's not throwing down a bad first layer. That's why I had to run over there before.
I printed a topper for my tree on my A10.
Wait. Spin around the other way. I think I might have printed that. I think I printed that exact same topper for a friend in class. I'm like, here, you need a Christmas topper. Done.
I did it with no infill whatsoever. But I had to use support material like crazy. So I actually had to go with a brim on the support material to make it where it'd print, but it worked pretty good.
That's pretty cool. I printed mine just lying flat because it was in a gray filament, gray AMZ 3D, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. Eddie's saying his hair's more gray than mine. I'll be catching up with you soon the way things are going.
I won't talk details unless Jimmy wants to, but let's just say keep Jimmy in your thoughts and prayers. Things are not exactly sunshine and puppy dogs licking your face over at Sears right now.
Well, management has kind of changed up a little bit higher up the food chain, and it's not been, how do I want to say this? Pleasant?
You don't say.
Oh, goodness.
And because the topic of tonight's stream is 3D printed Christmas, I decided to grab the box of some of the Christmas 3D prints that I've been working on for Ashley and Rich at Builds right now, so I can hold them up and show you guys and be like, print this for Christmas. Woo!
So what all have you printed?
Oh gosh, way too much stuff to begin with. One of them this is actually a few of them, is the Bugman 140 Christmas elf that I did in the last Christmas prints video. I actually wanted a couple of them, 2 in like the normal size and 2 scaled down a little bit. So that's all that's in here, plus some spares, because I pretty much ran everything as a batch. And I had like one batch where partway through something went wrong, but all the small components like the ears and the shoes and things like that, and the noses turned out fine. So I just threw those into the bag, just some, you know, so there was extra goodies. And then this I did on the Ultimaker. It's really cool. It's like a coaster with like the Liverpool football club thing. I had to actually do this with a small 0.3 nozzle on the Ultimaker to get everything to even show up, and the image is all blurry. But I had to do that on the Ultimaker. And then there's this one that's really cool, which is a leaf coaster. This one I did in AMZ 3D Mint and Gray. This one turned out really good.
So how are you liking that AMZ 3D?
Dude, I have to say, if AMZ 3D made 2.85 millimeter filament, I think I'd switch over to it.
Honestly, I used to swear by Hatchbox, and then the AMZ prints so much so much like the Hatchbox, where it's like, why spend the extra money?
I sometimes, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but I sometimes wonder if one is a rebrand of the other
Yeah.
that all came from the same supplier. Not saying either one is or is not, but you know.
Yeah, I really want to try that new Amazon filament. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, the Amazon Basics.
Yeah, I want to give that a shot and just see how it works too. I imagine it's probably going to be pretty close to the same.
Probably. I would like to know who the core supplier of them all is, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That's so, hey, Ron, I beat Jimmy. Oh, what up?
What's that?
You just totally blew off Aaron in the chat, you jerk.
Let's see. I said hi to him earlier. Oh, of course, I don't think he was here. I think he dipped out for a moment. What's up, Aaron? Aaron.
Gary is saying that he was buying AMZ 3D all the time he got to Amazon, and it was terrible. Good to know.
Really? Okay.
Well, remember, I won't name the brand, but remember the filament that you were showing me that it got super brittle, super fast, just sitting out?
Which one?
The Repcord?
No, the Repcord one. Yeah, it did. It snapped. I have another one, though, that actually snapped on the spool, and it wasn't his. It was another brand, and I forget what brand it was. It might have been... I think it might have been a roll of eSun that just got brittle in the package even.
Oh, that was the gold. Yeah, I've had bad luck with eSun gold in the past. I think gold from any company, the problem is the dye that they use in it makes it really brittle.
I think you could take it and drop it on the floor. It'd be one of those where just...
Well, I know a long time ago they gave me a half or a quarter kilo spool of gold a long time ago that I printed in, and it was okay, but it went brittle so fast that I had to throw out like a quarter, like the last part of the spool, which sucked because free filament is nice, but it was so brittle I just couldn't get it to work. I mean, it kept, even 2.85 just kept breaking in the Bowden tube or at the extruder, and can't print with that.
Chris is saying Amazon is rebranded Polymaker.
I wonder if it's the Polymaker Lite, because I've heard mixed reviews about it. Never tried it, though.
I've never tried Polymaker.
I have some Polymaker polycarbonate filament, but can't really do much with it because I can't get the Ultimaker hot enough to effectively make it print. It was only like $10 a spool on closeout. It printed solid, though, like 2 years ago, so I couldn't pass it up.
Hey, Alkish and Mr. Carol Science is in the house. How you guys doing?
What's up, guys?
Mr. Carol Science says he can't get the video to load.
Thinking YouTube trying to kill me off again?
Probably. Oh, you're so close to being monetized. They're like, what else can we do to them?
Yeah, lately I kind of feel like SF State and YouTube are out to get me.
Probably are. How close are you to getting monetized now?
I think I'm about... Last I checked, I keep hovering around 500 hours of watch time out.
Yeah.
So what I really wish I had was like 5 computers that I could set up and just have them running in the background, just playing videos through like non-logged in account pages, because it does help, but I don't. So sucks for me.
I could see you starting up a Make It With Calvin bot. Go to the bot network, have all the computers watching.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I keep getting enough bots trying to message me on social media anymore. It's ridiculous.
I have been getting so many friend requests on Facebook, and it's all these really hot looking girls, and they've got no friends. It's like, come on.
You know instantly when they either start talking dirty or it's the case of there's like nothing on their profile. You're like, that's fake.
Yeah, you go to their profile and there's one picture. It's like, come on.
Yeah, you know it's a bot.
It's not even a bot. It's some guy over in Indonesia. come on, Jimmy, click on the button. Come on, you know you want to be friend with this hot girl. Come on, that way I can copy your profile.
Honestly, I don't even touch it. I'm like, you know what? I don't even hit the decline. I don't even hit the accept. I'm like, Facebook will deal with it fast enough.
Yeah, true.
I don't want to run the risk of anything happening.
So you're going to talk about the evil printer you saw on Facebook today, aren't you?
Oh, which one? The new MakerBot?
Yeah.
It's not. Okay, it's not.
Do we really want to talk about MakerBot? Do we really want to talk about MakerBot?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this out in the open right now because I feel like, and I'm not saying that MakerBot does not have a checkered history of making machines that do and do not work. But the one thing I will say is people keep forgetting MakerBot for the last, I can't remember how long, pretty much when they started coming out with the newer generations of the replicators, they stopped being a hobby company. They were going for the prosumer market. People always simply
Stratus that owns them.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is people always moan and groan when Ultimaker comes out with yet another prosumer machine. People need to stop complaining that a company that has intentionally geared themselves towards the prosumer and school market is going for the prosumer and school market. That's just their marketing thing. But I do find it a little bit sad that it's 2018 and they finally decide to strap a second extruder on the machine. It's like, really, guys?
With really? 190 millimeter build volume.
What is that?
190 millimeters by 190 millimeters by what? 190 millimeters?
What's that in inches for us inch people?
I don't know.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for making me have to now go on my phone and look it up and feel like a loser. So what is it, 190?
190.
That's just under 7.5 inches. That's smaller than my Ultimaker.
Yeah.
By half
and the Ultimaker's had a dual extrusion for how long now?
When was it that we went to the event at Autodesk with Matter Hackers for the Ultimaker 3? A long time ago.
2 years ago.
At least.
Yeah. It's about two. Actually, yeah, it's getting close to 2 years. Getting close to 2 years.
And the other thing to remember is a long time ago, MakerBot had the dual extruder replicators. I mean, the only thing that made the Ultimaker one unique is the fact that it would pull the inactive nozzle up and out of the print zone, which is actually a pretty smart idea. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think it's kind of a, first, was it 6,000 something? Probably closer to 7,000, I'm guessing. It's probably like
you could get at least 1 or 2 Ray 3D for that much money.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy 2 Ultimakers for that price. You can buy a ton of CR10s.
And pay
you won't have dual extrusion, but I'm sure there's other dual extrusion printers out there that prints as good.
Well, you can get on Amazon an Array 3D N2 Plus, which is a 12 by 12 by 24 inch build volume, for with tax probably about $4,000.
Yeah.
So you can get a much bigger machine for a lot less.
And Todd, us inch people, Calvin, you mean a few islands in North America?
Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. No, but
oh my God.
Nate is right. He goes, you could buy 4 Moai for that price. You totally could. Yeah. The Moai kicks the pants off it. Off really any FDM machine any day of the week for prints. I mean, heck, right now my friend Scott in Walnut Creek, it's great. He's starting to learn how the machine works a little bit. He still doesn't know how to do any of the design work or the support work. He doesn't really intend to learn that, but he's getting good at running it. And after a few hiccups that we ran into, I think it was, I didn't save the file right and a couple of other little things. He's literally just been able to crank prints off that thing nonstop. He's pretty much got it like, oh yeah, every 6 hours the print's done. So I go out there and take it off and I'm like, dude, you're totally getting production. It's awesome.
Man.
But the cool thing is it's very tentative at this point, but we're working on starting up a little thing where we make custom locomotive conversion kits, and I'll be having a video on this probably sometime in the new year where I'm showing one of the projects that we're using the Moai for. But we're actually thinking tentatively in the future of actually getting a second Moai in, so that way we can have two machines and say one of them's running adapter plates and one of them's running cabs. We can just keep things cranking out, just because it's so reliable and works so well. And at about, you know, $1,800 with tax by the time you get the thing shipped to your door from, say, Matter Hackers, really is not a bad price. And it doesn't take that long to put one together, calibrate it, and get it ready to go either, which is nice. So we'll see.
Chris is saying 6K would be a really nice night in Vegas. Yeah, he can afford all the massages.
The nice hotel room, probably have some money left over for slots. Yeah.
The happy ending.
Yeah, TK, I do need to talk to Mark about the Moai 200. It's something that I mentioned.
6K to get you the hooks, blow, and 3D printer. Like your style, Chris. I like your style. Now that's practical.
We are now 21 minutes into the stream and we have already gone off the rails. Thanks, guys. Thanks. But no, TK, that is right. I'm going to talk to Mark about what's the time frame on getting the 200, because I'm doing a lot of larger prints now where having the 200 would be nice, which is why I picked up, and I'll show you guys later, the sad disaster that is the Formbot T-Rex that I traded some design work with my old job for. I was like, you know what? I want a larger format machine for some upcoming print work, and then I was either just going to give the frame away to somebody or something like that, because I really don't need a machine that big, but we'll see. But it's a rugged core of the machine. The electronics, the actual drive electronics for it are somewhat buggy. So I'm trying to figure out what to do there, but that's sometime in the future. But yeah, having a larger resin machine would be nice for some upcoming train projects where I'd love to do the print as one solid piece, because trying to do it in pieces and put it together is a little bit iffy.
Man.
Yeah.
I think my heater just went out. No, it's just very, very dim. What's going on here?
And now Jimmy's kerosene heater tries to kill him off as revenge.
Let's see if that works. Something went wrong with it.
Did my free kerosene not burn as good?
It's not burning quite as good as the other stuff for some reason, which I don't understand why. Kerosene's kerosene.
I don't know if kerosene can absorb, because I know certain fuels can absorb moisture over time. I have absolutely no clue how old or pure that stuff is, but it was free, and I'm not cutting aluminum with it anymore, so it's kind of like, we're good.
Yeah. I guess I thought you was about to twerk.
Oh gosh.
I did. I turned up the wick. And it's still not as bright as it usually is. I think I'm needing to clean it.
Jimmy gets to use his 3D printed wick cleaner.
I do.
Another practical print brought to you by Jimmy Shaw's Tidbits.
Right there. Designed in Tinkercad.
Good old Tinkercad.
I wish thermal protection had kicked in, but it's not that warm out here right now.
More like he needs a what do you need out there? You need a carbon monoxide alarm, so when it starts to reach dangerous levels, it might start to warn you.
Nah.
Oh man. So in the comment, had you been printing anything for Christmas gifts, presents, getting in the holiday spirit, yada yada yada, or is it just business as usual?
I've been working so much lately that I just haven't had a chance to do much of anything. This is actually my fifth attempt at printing this, because I tried it without support. Well, I tried it with just the support that they offered from the model online. That didn't work. It kept on failing after you get about that high up. That part would fail. It would print the rest of it, but it would not print that lower part. So then I started playing around with trying to do a brim around the support to see if that would fix it. That didn't fix it. So then I went to Cura, had Cura create the supports, and finally had to play around with what percent overhang so that it wouldn't put support material up here, because I didn't need it up here. That's perfectly fine. I just needed it down here. And I think if I came down to 55% or 55 degree overhang, and then that took care of that portion there, and it didn't go up to that part. But yeah, that took a few tries.
Nice. Theory is saying he did a few of those fab robots and toys for the kids. It's fun watching him get excited about prints. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's like, that's why I made the Christmas tree topper for a friend in the class, and just like, here, your Christmas tree looks really sad without a topper, so here, Merry Christmas. Or I do have to vote though that let me go get it really fast. That little gnome thing, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, I think Beth's wanting me to print her some tree ornaments, so I might give that a shot.
This little guy right here, I did a very crappy spray paint job, and then I painted the boots with a Sharpie right before it went on camera. But it's a fun little print because it's individual pieces. The body, the hat, the ears, the nose, and the feet are all their own print. And the beauty in that is obviously you can paint them all or print them all in a different color. The only thing I will say that was a little bit frustrating is the ears and the hat were not designed to be perfectly flat when you imported them into the slicer. So I had to go in there and actually physically slice them so they had a flat spot in a mesh mixer. But I mean, overall, it's not a bad print. And it's fun also because, you can print these out and say, have kids paint them. I put this one together with that 3D loop stuff, which is pretty cool as well. So yeah, that's a fun project right there.
I see Jeff's in the chat. How you doing, Jeff? This time last year we were planning our trip to head back over there.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to say last year around this time we already had the hotel room, and Jeff's going, "Holy crap, you guys are actually going to come out here? What the heck?" And then I climbed into a car with Jimmy and wanted to jump out the window 30 minutes later.
Oh God. Think of poor Beth having to deal with us.
She slept most of the way. She's like, "Yeah, I just slept most of the time."
We would sure love to go to Vegas again. At least I would. I don't know about Calvin. I mean, I think at last count he just wanted to fly or something.
I survived the Death Valley trip. No, but I will say the killer was when Danielle and I were coming back from Death Valley. We went out the bottom of Death Valley and drove into Barstow. When I rolled into there, I'm like, "Holy crap, this brings back memories of going out to see Jeff."
So when does CES start?
Crap, I never registered for it.
I forgot to as well. How much does it cost to go to it?
Oh, I don't know. I have to see if it conflicts with school or not as well, because my schedule right now is so up in the air because absolutely nothing is available for registration. I mean, technically classes don't start for like another month and a half, but right now is the beginning of registration, and I'm trying to figure out what my schedule will be. And right now it's just kind of like, I don't know, and it's really frustrating me.
Aaron wants us to go to Missouri. Jeff says January 8th through the 11th. Ooh. We might have to crash on your floor, though.
Hey, I think crashing on Death's floor would be a little more appealing than that horrible hotel that we stayed at.
It wasn't that bad. I've stayed in way worse. Then I went and I got to spend time at a Hilton. And it's like, oh man, how in the world did I ever stay in any other hotel?
Jeff's saying it might not be worth it. The 3D printing area has shrunk. Yeah, honestly, as much as I would love to go, unless someone can shove my crippled butt around in a wheelchair the whole time,
I just want to go
I
to
can't.
Joel all over Jay's 2 cents and Kyle and those guys. Oh, there they are. They really do exist.
Wait, you can find Linus really fast because he's walking around with
Can I
socks and
poke
sandals. Danielle still loves the part when you walk up to Tom and you're like, "Oh my gosh, he's real." Oh, she thought that and the part when you and Joe were picking on me in line to go talk to Tom was like the best part. And I'm like, no.
Actually, Jeff will be there because he lives like across the street.
Yeah, Jeff practically rolls out of bed and he's at CES.
It's like what, 3 miles at the most from there?
Because we rode by CES with them setting it up when we went on the monorail.
Yeah, that was a pretty big setup too.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. The hotel was
definitely needs the bunny ranch. Yes.
And on that note, I will break my leg then, so I don't have to go to Vegas. Cool.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, the monorail was pretty cool. The only bummer for me was I was hoping that you could see out the front because I knew it was driverless, but it was still fun to go around and check it out because I'd never really seen Vegas. It was cool to just kind of cruise along, check it out, see what it was like, and then do that whole thing. Yeah, well, for Jeff, it's really easy. He just walks down the street and he's there, you know.
Yeah. And he says he'll pitch in. What they test over there?
Not happening. Not happening. Nope.
Yeah, we just gotta get him a girlfriend. That's what we gotta do. Somebody that'll put some meat on his bones, start cooking some dinner for him. Fried chicken and some biscuits and gravy. That's what you need.
In other news, I fixed my 10M right before the stream started again.
Did you actually fix it, or did you just turn it back on?
No, I fixed it. So here's what happened. I'll demonstrate here with the USB cable for it. The problem is, this is me slightly being critical, it's led to an actual wire breakage. Problem is you have the nice strain relief here, but the thing is, the wires coming off the end can still pinch like this. So what's happening is when the bed's moving back and forth, it didn't have enough travel. So at the extremes of its travel, it was pretty much pinching and yanking the wire. So what happened is it actually caused one of the thermistor wires to actually break inside its own sleeve. So it would work fine until you started to jiggle the wires, and then the connection was lost just long enough that the printer goes, I don't see a connection here. Kills the print, which is a very good safety feature, but it's kind of annoying. So yeah, what I did is I just came along, I found where the break in the wire was, I cut it, I soldered the wire, and I put some heat shrink over it. But what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to actually print a simple little U-bend or something like that that holds the wire, or maybe come up with a cable chain or something that helps prevent the wire from getting jammed and yanked at the ends of its travel. So that way I can increase the wire life so I don't have problems like that. Because the reality is I have not been printing on the machine very long, but it's not that it's a bad machine. It's just the one that I've got has been a little bit problematic. But I think I'm finally working out the issues because I had a pretty major clog happen pretty early on, and I got that fixed out. I really don't know why, but it just randomly started clogging on me. I hadn't run anything like PVA or anything like that through it. I just think there was some junk that was inside, so it was causing like plastic to ooze back into the cold side of the hot end that I had to clean out. And then I had to take the old nozzle off, flush it up. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to take the old nozzle, I'm going to make the bore on it a lot bigger, so you still have that back pressure of the nozzle in there, but I'm going to probably drill it out to maybe like 3/32 of an inch or something like that. So that way you have the pressure of it there, and you also have, or maybe 16/7 inch or something. So that way you have the pressure in there, but any debris can get flushed out without getting into the threads as well. But that's what I've been working on, besides the Moai stuff and school stuff and all that stuff.
Cool. I just been working.
Oh my gosh, you got PVG in here. What's up, dude? Long time no see.
How's it going? So how's everything going with the school? Have you got everything straightened out yet, or?
So here's the problem, and it's not just me as an individual who's having this problem. It seems to be not only just in the industrial design department, it seems to be across the school. The issue is, for years, enrollment at, in my case, I'm at SF State, so we'll just say state schools in general. Problem is, admissions to get in was a lot harder, but there was enough classes to reasonably go around and things like that. And it was okay, but then the problem is all of a sudden they let a whole bunch of people in, which I do or do not know if that was a contributing factor into me getting into the industrial design program or not. I'm not saying it was a bad thing that I got in there, but the problem is, because I've heard from people who work there that at least double the amount of people that normally get allowed into the program have come in. I think normally they only let like 50 people into the industrial design program a year because it's so small. All of a sudden they let like 100+ people in there, so they at least doubled the admissions, which means that the original amount of classes they had isn't enough to cover everybody, and it's creating all kinds of problems for people who are seniors who haven't been able to take classes they need yet, newbies like me and other people who are partway through. It's like I saw an advisor and he recommended I take a SolidWorks class so I can learn rendering, a couple of other things, and I can't get into them. I only got into one class so far, which is like a core class, but any of the other sub-core classes that you need, I even look for stuff that's ahead, like, that doesn't really require a prerequisite, but, the instructor's like, oh, you can kind of just take it in this order. This might work better for you. Can't get into that either. So they have a piece of paperwork that you can fill things out on in the office, and it's starting to get things opened up, but the problem is, quite literally, as soon as something gets opened up, boom, people snap up every single spot that's in there. So quite literally, unless you're told like that nanosecond it's open, you don't stand a chance. It's the honest reality of it. And it's really, really frustrating for somebody like me, because I really want to try and knock out, I mean, if I need to, I'll take more general ed class, but I can only take so many of those before I'm just wasting my money and wasting my time, because I can't get into the design courses that I need, which is really starting to get me a little bit frustrated. Now, I understand enrollment opened up about a week ago, and generally what happens is they kind of slowly start to piecemeal out classes, but even the instructors are getting really worried at the slow rate that they're opening up new courses as there's demand. So I'm getting a little bit flabbergasted. So I'm going to give them a little more time, but if things don't improve by Christmas, I'm probably going to start to maybe come up with a few videos. And something I also did is, your first semester, you go through like this little 1-unit, like little introductory thing where it's kind of like, oh, welcome to the program, blah, 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 blah. Go talk to an advisor. One of the things they put at the end was, a little self-assessment, like, what do you think are some, what's your goals? And please be honest about any potential problems. So I told them, my knees are bad. So I really don't know if that's going to be a physical limitation. I don't know if I'm going to have to take a semester off. you know, for surgical reasons or things like that. But then I made that more of a small thing. You know, it's a physical limitation that does become a problem. But I then went like full on blast with them. Like, look, the reality is, how in the world can you expect us to get to the program in a reasonable amount of time if there aren't enough classes open for people to take? Now, I understand there's only so many things an instructor can do. I understand, you know, so I didn't like try and seem like some totally ignorant person. I'm like, look, I understand there's only so many spots an instructor can have and people they can let in and safely people you can have in the shop class, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, why is it that there are so many people in the program and there is a fraction of the classes available that are core required classes to get through here? I said, I'm 27 years old now. I really feel like my fear of not getting my degree until 40 is going to happen because I won't be able to take the classes I need in a timely enough manner to get the job done.
Well, that sounds to me like they're no different than one of those timeshares or any of the other stuff. They're overbooking.
Very much overbooking. And I'm going to, this is just speculation on my part, so don't take this as fact. But the one thing I will say that's interesting about it is the way SF State works versus a community college is, at a community college, you pay by the unit. If you're taking a 3-unit class, we'll just say it's $100 a unit for easy math here. It's $300. If you're taking 15 units, it's $1,500. Some of them will kind of prorate it past a certain point, but the point is, at a community college, you're paying for the amount of units. At SF State, you pay one rate if you're a part-time student, and you pay another rate if you're a full-time student. Doesn't matter how many units you're taking in between those. If you bump over into the full-time student cap, even by 1 unit, you're now a full-time student, you have to pay the full-time student rate. If you're under by just 1 unit, you pay the part-time student rate. So it can be both a blessing and a curse, but the thing is, you got to remember, if they're charging you the same rate, regardless of the number of units you're taking within that range, they can keep your units down. Theoretically, they'd make more money off you than if you were taking the very maximum number of units that you could per semester and getting the most for your money. So I'm not saying that is what they are or are not doing, but from an economic standpoint, it does make a little bit of sense. Just saying. You know, it's something to consider. Is I'm not saying that they're intentionally doing it, but it is something that kind of is in the back of your mind, like, well, is that a possibility? Wouldn't rule it out. You know, I don't know, but it's still frustrating.
Yeah. Ian says, sounds confusing. All he did was click on a box in the application to say what degree I wanted and waited for which university said yes. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But no, we got to overcomplicate things.
Yeah. In my case, here's how I did it. I applied directly to San Francisco State University as a transfer student from City College of San Francisco and previously Moorpark College, but they just care like what your last institution was. So it was City College of San Francisco. Then I had to apply separately to the industrial design program. So I got accepted initially into San Francisco State as a liberal arts major because they asked me, like, what's your first one? Well, that was industrial design. My second one was liberal arts because it was like, well, they needed a second one, and that was like, fine. If you want a second one, I'll put that one down. Because it seemed like the best fit. You know, if I'll be perfectly honest, if I only got accepted into that, I'd be like, thanks, but no thanks. I want to wait until I can get into the design program. Maybe I would have taken the gamble of starting to take classes there, general ed stuff, and then if I got into the design program, be like, cool. But if that wasn't going to happen, I'd probably just be like, what am I doing here? You know, so that being said, though, when I found out I got into the design program, I'm like, yay, awesome. Not realizing that it was going to be kind of a royal pain with classes. But based off what Danielle said, she goes, over the last few years, and I think this applied slightly to my sister as well, but I think she kind of got in and out before things got really congested. I think the problem is in the rush to try and get more people into school, they've kind of made it so that way it's actually screwing people over more than helping them, because now all of a sudden, by letting a whole bunch of people in there, the finance system was at least getting by, now is grinding to a halt because they don't have enough instructors, they don't have enough classrooms, they don't have enough supplies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. and it's grinding to a halt, and it's actually causing more problems than help. Because I know a couple of international students in there who are in their senior year and are in panic mode because they pay 3 times the normal rate. I think it's, I'm just going to go easy numbers here. I think it's about $3,300 a semester on average, I'm guessing, over at State. Don't quote me on that. I'm just doing easy math here. But I know one of them said she was having to pay over $10,000 a semester to go to San Francisco State as an international student. And when she went to the office to talk to them, like, well, what can I do? I need to maintain 12 units to keep my, visa to be here. And they're like, oh, well, just go take some other classes. And she's like, I'm not going to spend more money that I don't have for classes I don't even need to take. Why don't you have classes open for us, especially international students? And their attitude was, oh, well, it's tough for you, sorry. Can't do anything. It's just like, even the international students who are paying, who are like the cash cows for the school, are getting screwed over, and they're getting fed up. And I feel really bad for them because one of them is this Italian lady who's literally 40 years old, has a graphic design degree from Italy, but decided she wanted to get one in the United States as well to really make herself competitive, and pretty much had to start from the ground up with school to get to where she is now because they weren't recognizing stuff she took in Italy. And I'm like, what? It's like the more that I hear about things, the more I'm just sitting there like, this is more messed up than, I don't know. It's frustrating because it doesn't feel like you're here for an education. It just feels like, hey, let's vacuum your wallet out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And it's sad, to be honest. I'm not like one of these, oh, everything should be free people, but I'm definitely somebody who goes, I feel like education is an important thing. And for people who really want to go out there and get a 4-year education, it needs to be made more doable without crippling them into debt. I'm also a product of trade schools, and I think they're an amazing resource. But it's like, I'll be honest, if this crap keeps up, I'm pretty much just going to tell the school, what can you do for me? Because I'm really starting to feel like I'm just sitting here wasting my time trying to get into classes that don't exist and stressing myself into a heart attack. It's like, if you can't offer me the classes, then what am I supposed to do? You guys, I'm here because you accepted me. Why can't we make things work?
Right.
It's really starting to, I know we're early on, but this is not a good sign if we're talking about how we're having issues already. And I know it's just going to get more stressful as time goes on, because I know as time goes on, you're going to have more and more friendship. Oh, in my case, I'm going to be going on my 2nd semester, so if I can't fit everything in, no big deal, it can roll over. But when you're nearing the end, you don't have rollover. You pretty much have to get it in there somehow, and I don't want to take 4 years to get a 2-year degree, not because I failed everything, but because they didn't have it available. Man. So yeah, that's my mini rant on it, but I felt like it needs to be said because it's not fair to anybody. It's not fair to the teachers, and I'll be honest here. I've had some absolutely incredible teachers over at San Francisco State who I hold a very special place in my heart for this semester, especially being my first one and just making it a lot less freaky than I thought it was going to be. So for the instructors out there who have been amazing this semester, I have the utmost respect for you guys. Even they're concerned for us with the whole situation of like, it's never been like this. And I'm like, you've been here how long? One of my instructors joked, she goes, yeah, I've been here since dinosaurs roamed the earth practically. So if you have questions, I'm like, good to know.
I've got 2 words for you. Cal Poly.
Well, the problem is there's not many schools that offer industrial design.
Don't they offer it in Cal Poly?
I'd have to see. I'll put it this way. If this keeps up, I'll definitely talk to them about, can I transfer to somewhere else and take the units that I've earned? Because I don't want to start from scratch all over again. I'm just hoping this is a fluke because they let too many people in. But if this does keep up, I'm going to be like, okay, so what can we do to fix this? Because this is not right.
Yeah.
Really start. And I'm not trying to like penalize the office people directly, because I get it. They're not, the poor student office workers are not the ones who write the rules. But it's like, who can I talk to at this school and have a one-on-one with them and be like, what the heck are you doing? This is not helping us. This is making it worse. And really sit them down and show them the reality of the situation and try and get them to realize this is not right. This is not good. This is not how you eventually run a school.
That's the reason why they're always under investigation too.
Yeah, no, and honestly, I was talking in the hallway with a couple of students, and I'm like, honestly, a couple of them were surprised, like, why is nobody, making a fuss about it? I'm like, because the problem is people out here, I hate to say it, not everybody, but I'm like, the problem is a lot of people out here are too focused on big issues that don't even apply to them in school because they feel good. Oh, I'm protesting against this, and I'm protesting against that. Instead of looking at where they're at and going, why is it that the school is getting all this money, but yet we don't seem to have any classes? The California state school system, or really any state school system, is not without its controversy and things like that. It's like, I said, I would love to ask for an audit of where the money is going. I said, I'd love to know. I mean, if they just truly do not have enough money to keep everything going and they're not frivolously spending it, cool. I understand. It's not cheap to keep a campus running with lots of employees and buildings and things like that. But at the same time, there's a lot of frivolous waste going into pencil sharpeners and toilet bowls and things like that you don't need. Why are you spending it on that? That's what it really boils down to. Is it a true financial crisis, or is it a self-made financial crisis because we have a bunch of people who don't understand the value of the dollar?
If you ask the person that's at the very top that just got themselves a pay raise, I think you understand where a lot of the money went. Because they were talking about, oh, we need to raise tuition, we need to do this, we need to do that. And then I believe they were trying to say they couldn't raise it, but yet the person that was in charge ended up giving themselves a raise. So
yeah, it's like, it's like the old saying, show me the money.
Yeah.
And it's not like there wasn't, oh geez, wasn't it a couple of years ago where there was like some huge investigation into, I think it was like Janet Napolitano, involving like misuse of like UC Berkeley funds or something. Like it was huge embezzlement case. I don't know what happened with it, but it was pretty disgusting, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the honest nutshell. And I feel like I'm hoping that, and when I'm talking openly about this, I don't want to sound like I'm just trying to bash the school, because it's a great opportunity, and I'm not trying to bash the people who run the programs directly, because they're ultimately at the mercy of the people up top who dictate where the money goes. But just the system as a whole is broken, and it's really, really frustrating for me, because this is not what I wanted to get myself into. I knew there was going to be stuff that I didn't want to deal with. I knew there was going to be annoying teachers. I knew there was going to be annoying students. But what I really didn't want to land myself in was a bunch of crap because the school decided they don't have enough money to keep a program functionally running. When there's a ton of demand for it, and you're like, really? That's all.
Let me ask this: what did they do with that the welding class and everything at the school that you were going to?
It's still going to an extent, but my teacher was not able to get enough classes going to be full-time. So now he's commuting between San Francisco and Hayward to also teach welding part-time at Chabot over there, which he's not too thrilled about, but it's what he has to do. So it sounds like the welding program's still going for a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised if the people who I begged and pleaded with for the 2 minutes that I had to keep it, as well as everybody else, I'll just decide, welding program.
So in other words, they're going to starve it to death.
Probably. And to be perfectly honest, the thing that really bugs me about it is the welding program's campus is located in a low-income area of San Francisco. And you would be amazed how many times when the class was starting, when you have a full class, we'd have people coming in there asking if they could add the class because they really wanted to learn welding and they weren't able to get in. And you know how it goes first week or two of classes. In this class, if you didn't show up the first day, gone. No excuses, no nothing, you were gone. So there were times where people would not show up for roll, booted, and people who wanted to add, who were on the wait list, who were there, boom, got in. So, and you never know. I mean, just because the class shows it's full doesn't mean that half the class doesn't show up and just gets dropped the first day and there's room. But yeah, I mean, I know people who went through that welding program and got jobs doing welding and are doing pretty decently for themselves for it. So, you know, it's definitely frustrating that they're trying to pretty much starve it to death. Because I even said the reality is we had people from San Francisco State going to City College to learn welding because they weren't getting enough practice in over at San Francisco State University, or the school didn't have the class and actually gave them credit for going to City College to take the welding course to count for like an elective or something. I mean, it was like, what? Because all San Francisco State has is like 2 MIG welders, I think 1 TIG unit, or maybe even just 1 MIG and 1 TIG, I can't remember, and 1 oxyacetylene, and that's it for the whole design program. And I'm like, my dad's welder and my welder that's at Ashley's house that I've loaned to her, and my oxyacetylene rig is pretty much about the same amount of equipment that they have over there. And I'm just like, this is sad. We have like a Haas CNC mini mill that's down at the moment because it needs like a couple grand's worth of work, but there's not enough money to do it. And the students are working on starting up the industrial design club, and we're actually so desperate to try and get the machine going again. Fixed.
Man.
And I'm like, that's concerning. Yeah. Especially considering I know Haas, which makes the machine, tends to give pro rates to schools that need maintenance on the machines. I mean, it's like a $5,000 to $7,000 repair, and I'm like, you guys don't even have that to fix it, and it's just sitting there, and students can't use it. That's like a travesty to the program.
Cal Poly. I know they got welders down there.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna stick it out for what it is for now. But if it keeps going downhill like this, I'm gonna start asking hard questions and start playing investigative journalist and trying to get to
they want to start. Their main thing is what is it? Architecture and maybe graphic design. But as far as
well, even the graphic design people are struggling for classes. And here's the other thing: graphic design people and industrial design people actually share, except for like the hands-on, like product design classes, we actually share a fair number of core classes, and even they are having a hard time getting them. So that also makes it harder because the school of design people, now you also have graphic design in there, and that whole subset competing with the industrial design for classes, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it keeps becoming like this bigger and bigger snowball of unfunness. So, you know.
Man. Well, you about ready to call it?
I'm about ready to call it. I'm fading fast over here, and I got to get up early to go to Walnut Creek tomorrow.
I can't feel my fingers anymore.
I need to fix your heater, sir.
The heater went out a long time ago.
Poor guy.
I'm about ready to grab my jacket here in a moment.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks guys for tuning in. Sorry if this stream had a more somber tone to it, but I'm just, you know, setting things straight for you guys out there. And for those of you who are the praying type, any prayers regarding getting into classes and just direction on what to do would be great, because there's a lot of stuff weighing on my mind right now, and it's really not helping the fact that things are kind of, I know in the end it'll probably all make sense in the long run, but it's kind of frustrating right now dealing with the lack of classes and just all that stuff going on. And you know, it doesn't help the seasonal holiday blues any when you're stressing out about if you're even going to get into classes or not. So yeah. But no, I'm doing better than I was before, but it's still frustrating. We'll put it that way.
Cal Poly.
Oh my gosh,
dude, the women down there are so much better.
Oh boy. Well,
Something about those Southern California girls.
I give up. Give up.
Guys,
See
have
you
a
guys
good one. Thank
later.
you for joining.